Feels good with Pluto and Aquarius. Did you notice how people went? Yeah. It's going to continue to go on. People that are not handling the truth very well includes everything. Everything besides for what's in their mind. See, this is what I wanted to start poking at around with people, because if you've gotten lost into people, lost with the narcissist, you got lost into the mind. They are trapped in mind, which is memory. Only can be memory. So they have a bad memory. They have a bad way of using the mind, which they can't see it in the first place. And so it loops into memory. Some of them, boy, it's amazing. You know, you don't want to have a conversation with them because they'll have a conversation about the conversation that you just had a minute and a half ago, and now you have to clear up what you said just sit there. And I'm just like, you know, as a musician, dealing with that kind of frequency, you don't know how I feel about it, babe. Just thinking of that situation, I'm kind of... And it's the same with you if you're privileged enough, and privilege means you're just fucking lucky. You're lucky. Somehow God loves you that you're able to stay away from people. Steer clear. Most likely you got the hang of it because there was something else, like the truth, that you were interested in. It could be anything. Now, I'm going to stress, this is what meditation is. Yeah, it's not anything in particular except for watching the mind versus, watching the mind and seeing the truth. It's just now you see, and really what happens with some people, maybe, they choose the truth over the mind. That's what scientists will tell you. I mean, the best ones, they'll say, you know what, the truth keeps destroying the mind. That's, the way that you use the mind is to keep it, they say an open mind, but it's like, nah, just kind of get rid of it. Move it out of the way. There is such a thing. You can have awareness. Did you know that the mind can't be awareness? It can't be being. It can't have being. Those are two different, totally opposite things. Reality, being, and awareness are the same. The mind and illusion and, say, memory and is opposite. It's completely different. You know, if you knew what I was talking about right now as like, oh yeah, separate them out. They cannot mingle. They are diametrically opposed. And that the curriculum here is to graduate into awareness. Mind can't be awareness. I love this part. Awareness is now. I won't stop it. This is a prayer. This is meditation. If you get in the state where you have no mind, but you're just now you're going to start learning how to breathe. You're going to find out that is the most amazing technology. That as far as you being here now, beyond mind, you see, there's where you get to these little, you can start connecting every little thing up that's going on that they keep pointing at. Well, when they talk about somebody who is standing in the truth and standing in love and is more powerful than 72 people walking blind in their mind, and they tether onto each other. Minds need each other. Love can be alone. Knows how to be alone. Love, oh gosh, I didn't mention that yet, but now is where love lives. That's the only place we live. The mind isn't capable of being there. It must kind of obey and say, see, there's a difference between focus and being full of memory kind of thing, But I really want to stick to, okay, so I brought up the word love. I mean, a lot of people don't know what this is. God. Whoops, wait a minute. Who are you? Ah! Back. You're never going to kill it. And you're never going to stop it from being alive, moving. Don't stop yourself from doing that. How do you do that? Think that you're a mind. And, you know, the mind, now let me get into the nature of the mind that you don't see. How do we see it? I say, pick an art form. You have to learn a 13.5 stringed mandala or sitar. Pick up a flute. I'm just kidding. No, grab a broom. See, the idea is, and I'll say this, you have to make something that is not of the mind, anything. Vacuuming the floor, any daily thing. Make it, well, focus, right? Focus. Now, what is focus? Now, what I'm really pointing at is kind of hypnotizing yourself away from distraction. Because now we're moving through it. We're going to move through it. This is like the beginning stages. It's called alpha brainwave state. You're getting into that when you are meditating, finding the entrance, and that is when you are on a cell phone. When you are on a cell phone scrolling, you are entering into alpha brainwave state. Believe it or not. What it is that you have blocked out your surroundings pretty much, and you're in the mind state. This is really hard to explain. You have kind of just went into a place. I don't want to call it no mind, because you know that alpha brain wave state is there, but you're being occupied by suggestion, and your mind is being distracted. You see, when I talk about that non-distracted, there is where, okay, now I'm talking about an art form, something that it's not the cell phone. You know what I mean? Just trying to suggest like how to get into your body, because that's what it really is. I mean, breathing. They say, oh, just sit down and breathe. That is the hardest meditation. There's something called transcendental meditation. Transcendental meditation that you should, you know, kids are involved with that. What it is it's like you're not going to sit still and breathe. What you do is you run full speed around the block 8 times, or however long you can possibly keep it up until you drop. And you have just gone through a transcendental meditation. You get through it as deeply as you can, and you come out and you, as a matter of fact, amazing. I mean, you can drop it. Transcendental meditation means you kind of drop it, and that's what all of life is. You go through it. But, you know, if you knew the nature of the mind, there's a lot of, see, now what are we going through? Are we going through unnecessary suffering? Not sure if this conversation is good for anybody right now, but there is help for the people that think that people are the answer, and it's like, no, we're not going anywhere either. See, then now people, narcissists, these are people that have an idea or an ideal about everything, right? Everything, and that's why everything. I was gonna get, you know, you talk about what the mind is, you know, even some Buddhists won't say it right, but mind is desire. Desire for what? If you can imagine something that is not really there, wants to be there. Now let's point out your narcissist. That's who that is. They're not really there. They are a non-existent ego, which is something that says, all of this about my background and even about my identity, where I work, and based on that, I can't be present with you right now, and I can't even be present with me, and so therefore love went out the window, and what do you got? A robot? Good, fine. That's not what we really need, though, and that's not you know, those people, we can turn on some material. What happens to the cerebral narcissist? Eventually, they want to wake up. Eventually, they get to 60 or so, and they're like, I have not had a single human experience or emotion that has followed through that I can feel. Was that now I can feel and, you know, feel love, feel joy, feel bliss, feel interconnected consciousness where it's not such the shut off and saying it's going to be on this schedule and just going through a maze. Hello, world out there. Mercy on the kids. Because that illusion of world out there that's just running and running is the mind that can't see itself. What is the mind? Desire for what? Just to be there. I'm real, damn it. I am real. No, I am. I experienced that with somebody, you know, highly abused person. And right now they're making their choice. See, this is the Aquarius age vibe. See, the people that are here now, see, Aquarius is I know. Now, what word is inside of the word know? What? Okay, this is this is controversy to me. I would rather have a silent movie and start writing it down. KNOW. Take the K away. What is the word there? Now. Just because we have a slur happening with language, total gibberish. We could call it a syntax error, but it's not a syntax error. People are slurring their language. It's not potable water anymore. It's potable. What the fuck is potable? So, you know, I highly suspect that now, with the K behind it, is, okay, so you're talking about the mind there. Something is hidden. You're talking about knowledge. No. See, now we're getting into words and you want to learn. Knowledge is past tense to knowing. Diametric opposites. Knowing is your experience now. All of it is great. Even the pain. It's just an experience. Don't deny things while it's happening. It's your profound responsibility to be present to your own faculties, at the very least, you know, and that's just a little bit of it, because we're going to get past that. Talk about transcendental meditation. But getting back to these words, see, a lot of people don't know. It's like, I wish they would just know what they're saying, because they say knowledge is king, and it's like, no, actually, knowing is. Knowing. I'm going to keep leaning toward this. It's going to isolate me a lot. People don't really talk right if you know what you're saying and your perception dials in on it. Then you become that much more grounded and less battered around by, there's misunderstanding, I guess. There's deeper understanding. Deeper understanding. So, and the mind, all it can do is surrender. See, you know, if you want to know anything worthwhile, it's going to be the truth. Now, what is the truth? Fucking A, man. These words need to be they need to be tossed out. You know, I love talking to atheists because all they have a problem with is words. And I say, you know what? Fucking A. Just a word, babe. God, now, reality, truth, love, awareness. Those are all the same little cookie. Take it, put it all in there. Now, what I love is the word now. I'll close this up now. I know it's not Sunday. It's Friday and nobody's listening. But we have the story. Somebody was dying and they called me to their side, and they kept calling me to their side. And I had, oh God, this experience that I had with this person. They were an atheist, and I would sit right next to them. See, I was helping them along, you know, I would give them a shower once in a while. You know, it was remarkable what was happening with that particular person. They were an Aries, and he made it out of the hospital during the COVID-19 thing, and just made it back to this place. Very small room, where, I mean, I can go on and on about this this thing that happened with this particular person. I thought, you know what, this is the way that we should be taken care of at our end life stages, contrary to what's going on over there. Anyway, God, dude, try and well, he kept calling me to his side. He's an atheist, and he told me, and he also, when I would arrive there, I mean, in the beginning, I could tell he's like, you know, he's hanging me on the cross. He says I'm an atheist. He's like, he's really challenged me with me. He's really trying to really upset me or something. I know that he's a troubled person right then and there, and I'm like, oh goody. This is just about a conversation because I'm like, guess what? I'm a Buddhist. Buddhism is just a conversation between two people. One of them is conquered of their mind, and the other one isn't. And we have a very subtle state of being, and of course, I'm there just being all we can be, which is now a presence. And I've been around people that are dying, and you have to change your diapers and shit like that. So, and also I know how to answer a call, whether we're dying or not. You know, you know, you have your intuition, and there's a reason why we're in each other's lives. Anyway, this was remarkable. This person had a lot of people taking care of him. But see, the county was also, the state was also coming in, stepping in, and everybody was kind of laughing at that because they were not, their heart wasn't in it at all. I mean, so, but anyway, I talk with this guy, and God, I can't tell this story right now. But it's just a personal thing that happens. I know that he reached heaven before he died, because I had told this one story, and here it is. I'm going to wrap it up. And you can do this too, babes, but only if you really, really have just gotten a grip. You're like, oh, you can't knock this. I mean, because this is not my mind. This is the truth. And it's like, woo! You know, he's atheist. You know, he's like really confused and fucked up because of words. And I said, well, first of all, you're hung up on words. But I said, you know what? God is now. God is now. I told him, and then I said, well, you know, let me tell you a story. There was a guru, and he likes the guru thing. He kind of likes that, you know. But you know, because you go and talk to somebody and they tell you something more than you knew. But he said that. So I told him this story. I said, so somebody once asked the master, is there life after death? And the master really just kind of responded quickly, you tell me, has there ever been life after now? So I told this guy this, and he's got some Gemini in there too, I think, I know. So Geminis are really, really smart. They're built to be smart, and then for healing. They're built for healing. You know, this guy is really standoffish, you know. He's like, I'm an atheist. And I'm like, I'm a truthist. And truth is God. But I said, how about now? Now is the only place that you'll be interacting with that thing that rises and falls into your, let's hope you're using those 5 senses, baby. And that's what all we do when we are collecting information on science, and we have worked things called truth. The truth is what works. People, I don't know. But let's get back to, yeah, so this guy, after I told him that story, you know, he's going to think on his own. He's going to think, he's like, okay, has there ever been life after now? And he just went, you know, I just saw him just unravel. I just saw him just, and he looked at me and I looked at him. I saw somebody turn 15 years old right in front of me. And he just started laughing, and I did too. And I didn't say anything much more. He completely changed. I was bringing him some meds. He was helping me out. Every once in a while, I'll say, you know, do I have? He was helping everybody out. This guy, you know, he was getting $800 a month or something, and he would give $400 away to somebody, but they would bring it back, and he'd do the same thing to me and pay him back, you know. I went back to give him the $40 that I borrowed, and you know, I was helping out with everything, and we had gone through this fucking process where that day, where I had made sure, I said, babe, think about it. And I wish I can tell you, maybe I will right now, is that, boy, we went through this process after that. He really went through a process, I can tell, and he kept calling me. See, I'm going through my own problems too, though. You know, I'm stressed out. I mean, why am I borrowing money from this guy who's dying? You know, but no, I'm doing all we can. But I was helping him, and I was doing his laundry. Somebody freaking croaked right in the middle of that, and I kind of took over that. I couldn't believe it. She was freaking 36 years old and dropped dead of a heart attack. It was during the COVID-19 thing, and people were in such fear that they were just dropping dead. Not under, see, first they had a belief and then it was cut. We're going to keep seeing that with the way Pluto is going to do with humanity. It's going to be like, I hope you have a solid foundation. What is that? The truth, you know, look into it deeper, go beyond, keep peeling the onions until it disappears. Cry if you have to. Get over it. Transcendental meditation. You you don't want to know what the masters know. You don't. You know, you have to be willing to pay that airline ticket and go clear over to India for them to simply radiate at you. Life is Maya. You're going to have to transcend it all. And see, the thing that happened with this man, he went to heaven. He described something, and it was a reward to me. My guidance system tells me this is what he's going to see when he dies. He described it before he died. He told me, he was like one of the last things he fucking said to me on the phone. He was really trying to get a hold of me. And he told me of a story where he nearly died. He's a fisherman in Florida, and he used to just, you know, drink on a little boat and fish. And this freaking huge oil tanker came. I think he describes, he jumped out onto the boat, off of his boat, and he said he was gonna take a swim. At that time, a huge oil tanker came up on him, and he was certain he was gonna die. It was so terrifying to him. But he tells me of having survived, and the moments afterward, the foam in the ocean, and he described this thing, this light and all this stuff, and the way he told me about it, I could tell, okay, this is what he's going to see when he goes, and also he sees it now, and he's there now. He's in that place of just knowing he's going to be okay. And anyway, a little bit further interaction, you know, I'm minding my own business. I have my jobs I got to do. I remember I was telling him, well, I got to go down and do a yard, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, I had to give him $40 back, and so I walked, you know, he would die within hours after, you know, but I'm looking at this 16, I'm just looking at the energy he is, and he was a family friend, and he knew of me, and so he started calling me up, and he was only 72, that's very young, by the way. Just gave him, giving each other the time of day, I guess, but really appreciated that last moment when I knew he was on his way. I just knew it, you know, and I gave him back his $40, and I said, all right, so-and-so, I won't say his name, but I should download his video that I have. Do I have it here? No, it's on my PC. I recorded our conversations a couple times. He said some pretty trippy stuff. He was not checked out. He made a joke about AI. Anyway, laughing and all that good stuff, and so it was the last day, and you wouldn't know it, but because he's an Aries, you know, Aries just took it right up to the very last fucking minute, and he told me, I'm dying. Oh, really? No, I knew what he meant. I've heard that before. I've been around people's side who literally said, I'm dying. I mean, I'm talking about 4 hours goodbye. They just know. And I know, see, so I've seen this look before from my uncle. He was about to die. He looked just the way that they will look just into your solar plexus, and this light is there. You don't know where they're looking. You're like, what the hell? But I can see from this guy. I gave him this 40 back, and he says, I'm dying. And I said, well, Wayne, something like, oh, hang in there. You look all cleaned up. And I just kind of went into this automatic mode. I said, I'll be back tomorrow to do your laundry. Okay? And no, he says, no, I'm dying. And then he said, and he looked at me, and I said, well, I'll be back tomorrow. And he says, he looked at me with that, really, I can't explain that look, and he says, you are family. He said that to me. And I don't think that was him at that point saying that. That was my guide, perhaps, that knows, that has faith, actually, because I don't know. I've had so many experiences. That's why I get online, and that's why I type, it's like, you guys, there's a lot of complications in between where we fall and we get all inside of our misery and confusion of what are we doing here. Well, love is what we're supposed to be doing here. And that is something highly misunderstood. Trying to get into that more, how it has nothing to do with people. It's a cultivation that you do your own, and you're not going to get anything more or less than that from anybody else. Now that's some serious fucking shit right there, really. I mean, you can say, oh, John Lennon says something like that, or blah blah blah, but to really start the practice of it, which has to do with setting the mind aside and being present now. It's actually very easy because, man, people are in, and they're going to project on you in their fucking minds about stuff, and you need, that's your practice right there, is just say, how's now? First of all, why are you guys associating? There's where I'm getting back to you. Do you know that you guys, people are coming to you with their madness, and they want to hide inside of you to just make it more real, right? It's real, right? And let's go to the bar, 6 o'clock, right? Tonight. And transcendental meditation, get through it, get over it, get real, get Ria. Be just the presence that is everlasting, grace. Man, I know that moment, We're all going to find ourselves in that moment where that man is describing, where, I just kind of jumped off to take a swim, but then I found myself, my life was in danger. There wasn't anything I can do but to float, kind of thing. He just kind of floated, and God took care of that. And on the other side, we find ourselves in this shimmering place of like, okay, we have our whole lives ahead of us now. We have every decision that doesn't matter back then. We have now. Woo!